Howdy everyone, and welcome back to Cooking with Mary Sue. Before we begin, I want to remind everybody to hit that like and subscribe and share down at the bottom. I'm still trying to get my little channel to grow. It is growing, I won't say big leaps and bounds, but it's growing slowly week by week. So try to share this with everybody you know. And there'll be links below to my other channels down there, a link to my eBay store, and a link to my book website. Here's the book that I had published a little over a year ago. It's available on Amazon, eBay, Barnes & Noble, and iTunes. And there's a link to the website about this book down there. If you go to that website, it will tell you about the book, about me, and it has a little button that takes you right to Amazon. How easy can that be? Okay, I'm talking about this week about how to stretch your dollar, which is what we're all trying to do right now. In fact, we're trying to stretch our nickels and pennies and quarters too. But if you have a big family, you might want to be trying to think of meals that are filling, they're hearty, and cheap. Very, very cheap. This stew here today is only made of 4 main ingredients, and it depends on how big you want to make it. You can make it as cheap as $3 for the whole pot. Actually, a little less than $3. Now, I'm making just a small pot full because it's just for the two of us, for my husband and me. But if you want to make it for a bigger family, or for a unexpected company, or a get together, a gathering, or take it to church, you can by just easily increasing the ingredients. It's very easy to make this recipe small or big. It doesn't matter. Okay. Another thing, it's really handy to throw together if you do have unexpected guests. In my way of thinking, if you have unexpected guests, then they ought to be lucky to have potluck. That means they're lucky to get anything you want to throw in the pot. They have no right to be picky about what you're going to serve them. Now let's get you a little story here. This is originally called Hoover stew. And that's because it was originated, I think, back when, during the Depression, when Hoover was the president. And everybody back then was, well, everybody was trying to stretch their dollar. A lot of people were out of work. A lot of people weren't making very much. Food was hard to come by. They may have large families to feed. They were trying to put together what they could. Kind of sounds like today almost, doesn't it? But foods like this were one of the mainstays back then. And chilies and something else. What was it? Oh, yeah. Cream chicken over biscuits. That might be a future recipe. We'll find out. But here we go. I've already cooked my macaroni. I did need to show you how to cook macaroni. Everybody knows how to cook macaroni, I think. Although I do cook mine a little different. I do not cook mine al dente. I like my pasta to be very, very well done. I don't like it half done where it tastes crunchy. Neither does my husband. Okay. The main ingredients, only 4 ingredients to this stew. Macaroni, hot dogs, a can of beans, and a can of tomatoes. That's it. These 4 things. Now you can buy these 4 things total for less than about $3. That's pretty darn cheap for a filling meal like this. Because you can easily get a pound of macaroni for right around $1. Notice I got the store brand. This costs right around $1, give or take a nickel or dime. The cheapest hot dogs is $1 for this pack at Walmart. I got the store brand beans. These are about, beans used to be pretty cheaper. You used to get beans like 2 for $1, but now this can was almost 80 cents. So it's going up a little bit. And you can get just store brand tomatoes. These are about 60, 70 cents. Now I'm making my recipe here just a little bit different. Sometimes you have to tweak your own recipe according to your dietary restrictions. My husband is not supposed to eat too many tomatoes a week, according to his doctor. So if I put this in this stew, he's going to sit there for an hour and pick it all out. So I'm not even going to put it in there. I'm making mine just a little bit different for him. Like I said, you can use any type of beans you like. You can use pinto beans, pork and beans, butter beans, great northern beans, navy beans. But I'm going to use chili beans. Yep, I'm going to flavor mine a little bit. I'm going to use chili beans. I have my whole pound of, this is a whole package of hot dogs all cut up, just a little bite size. And for me, instead of using, I am using elbow macaroni. And this is probably about the cheapest pasta you can buy, but you can make this with any type of pasta you want to. Doesn't matter. Spaghetti, elbow, rotini, the little bow tie shape, any pasta, doesn't matter. But since I'm making this a little different for me, I decided to use just a box of macaroni because I want to put the cheese in mine. Yep, I'm going to have the cheesy flavor mixed with the chili beans. You get the idea. Now, first thing, you don't drain the beans. You want that juice in there. I might even add 2 cans, I think. I will. Beans are very healthy for you, full of protein, and they're filling. If you make a big pile of this, you could freeze some back for later if you wanted to, which I might do. I almost forgot about my cheese. This I was going to add my cheese, which the liquid in there will help this cheese mix up. Okay. I might want to add a little butter to this, but I may not. Wait, see when it's kind of, I'm going to let it simmer a little bit on the stove. I still got to add a little bit more. I got to add the hot dogs next. And I might just add another can of beans. This kind of reminds me of making chili mac. I love chili mac. Chili mac's another good cheap and inexpensive meal to throw together. Okay, now the hot dogs. Yep, I did add the whole pound. I started adding half the package. I thought, why not just dump them all in? Just dump all the hot dogs in. Make it a little more meaty. Let's see. Do I or do I not want some more beans in this? No, I think this is enough for me. I think I'll just leave it like it is, maybe. Let's see, I add this macaroni box. This cost me 43 cents. Those beans cost 78. The hot dogs were $1. That means this whole pot right here costs $2.21. And that's a lot for us. I mean, this will do us for 2-3 days, or I can freeze half of it. I'm going to let it cook on the stove just a little bit, warm it up, get those hot dogs a little bit warm in there, and we'll be right back. Well, I thought about it. I decided to add another can of beans anyway, because my husband loves beans. His favorite bean is pinto bean, but he also loves this. This is probably his second favorite, because these are made with pinto beans. They just have a lot of little chili flavoring on there. Might want to call this Mexican style Hoover stew. How about that? Like I said, if you're making this at home for yourself, you have no diet restrictions, then you definitely need to add a can of tomatoes in this. I let this simmer on the stove for about 5-10 minutes just to heat up the hot dogs a little bit. As you know, hot dogs are already fully cooked by when them get a little hot in there. Even by adding the second can of beans to this, the total cost of this pot of stew here came to $2.99, still under $3. And that's more than enough for the two of us for several days. Let's see, if you wanted to increase this for a larger family, you easily could for no more than $5 probably. But this would do well for a family of 4 to 6 for one night. Okay, I can still remember some stories my husband told me about his mother, and she grew up during the Depression. She was born in 1919, and she remembers being a little girl during the Depression and things they went through. She didn't have it as hard as most her family didn't because they were farmers, and they grew almost all their own food that they ate. But they would can stuff and pickle stuff, and he said they had a huge root cellar that they would just line up with hundreds of jars of canned food that would last all winter. So they were just a little luckier than most being farmers. Yep, here you have it. A nice hearty pot of Hoover stew. Like I said, don't forget, add tomatoes if you can eat them. And next week we'll think of another quick, easy recipe. But it's also something very easy to throw together. The only time it takes to cook the macaroni, that takes less than 10 minutes. So you can just throw it together in less than 15 minutes. You've got a meal on the table in no time. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this quick little history lesson on Hoover stew and how to cook quick, easy, fast, cheap meals. I love that word cheap. Cheap. Or inexpensive sounds better, but still tasty. Nice and hearty, full of protein and filling. So, I'll get back with y'all next week. Y'all have a good week. God bless everyone, and I love y'all. See y'all later. Bye.